Yeah, good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts, Sciences and Well. Before we start today's sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुध्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुध्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुध्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुध्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
So, with the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Yesterday, due to heavy rains here, we could not have the session. So, yesterday was very important commemoration. It was Nelson Mandela's International Day on 18th July. So, we'll start commemorating and then moving to today's commemoration. So, today, we are commemorating and celebrating Nelson Mandela's International Day on 18 July. It is easy to break down and destroy. The heroes are those who make peace and build, as quoted by Nelson Mandela. Now, we might be wondering, what is this Mandela Day or today? Why we are commemorating? On 18 July every year, we invite you to mark Nelson Mandela's International Day by making a difference in your communities. Everyone has the ability and the responsibility to change the world for the better. Mandela Day is an occasion for all to take action and inspire change. 67 in service of humanity, Nelson Mandela devoted his life to the service of humanity as a human rights lawyer, a prisoner of conscience, an international peacemaker, and the first democratically elected president of Free South Africa. November 2009, in recognition of the former South African president's contribution to the culture of peace and freedom, UN General Assembly declares 18th July as Nelson Mandela's Day. Resolution 64 by 30 recognizes Mandela's values and his dedication to the service of humanity in conflict resolution, race relations, promotion and protection of human rights, reconciliation, gender equality, and the rights of children and other vulnerable groups. The fight against poverty, the promotion of social justice, the resolution acknowledges his contribution to the struggle for democracy internationally and the promotion of a culture of peace throughout the world. So Nelson Mandela rules on December 2015, the General Assembly decided to extend the scope of Nelson Mandela International Day to also to be utilized in order to promote humane conditions of imprisonment, raise awareness about prisoners being a continuous part of society, and value the work of prison staff as a social service of particular importance. General Assembly Resolution 70 by 175 not only adopted the revisited United Nations Standard Minimum Rules for the treatment of prisoners, but also approved that they should be known as the Nelson Mandela rules in order to honor the legacy of the late president of South Africa, who spent 27 years in the prison in the course of his struggle. Today is also commemorated as Flight Attendant Safety Professionals Day in US. Flight Attendant Safety Professionals Day is observed annually on July 19. This day is marked to appreciate flight attendants for the important work they do during flights. The holiday was proclaimed on July 13, 1990 by President George Bush. Flight attendants strive to make an air travel as comfortable and enjoyable as possible, as well as guard the safety of aircraft passengers. Their professionalism has saved many passengers from injury or death and continues to increase the margin of safety. Flight Attendant Safety Professionals Day was created by proclamation by the President of United States of America on July 13, 1990. Declared by President George Bush during his tenure, the proclamation enumerates the importance of flight attendants to passenger safety. Flight attendants strive to make air travel as comfortable and enjoyable as possible. Their chief responsibility, however, is to guard the safety of aircraft passengers. Federal aviation regulations entrust flight attendants with an array of duties that are essential to protecting cabin occupants from in-flight hazards and ensuring their safe evacuation in the event of an emergency. The men and women who serve as the flight attendants carry out duties with an outstanding degree of dedication. So their behavior has been calm and professional. During accidents, hijackings, in-flight fires, sudden cabin decompression, and other situations of potential or immediate danger to human life. This tradition of professionalism has saved many passengers from injury or death and continues to increase the margin of safety for those who travel by air. But even today, the proclamation also reads in part, in recognition of the contributions America flight attendants have made and continue to make to the safety and comfort of the traveling public. The Congress, by Senate Joint Resolution 278 has designated July 1990 as Flight Attendant Safety Professionals Day and has authorized and requested the President to proclaim an observance of it. Now, therefore, I, George Bush, President of United States of America, do hereby proclaim July 1990 as Flight Attendant Safety Professionals Day. I urge the people of United States to observe the day with appropriate ceremonies and activities designated to recognize the important role flight attendants play in enhancing the safety and convenience of our nation's air transport system. Today is also commemorated as Flitch Day in US, which is an unofficial holiday celebrated annually. It dates back to an ancient custom that saw married couples sending a flitch of bacon by providing the strength of their union. After a year, the couple would stand trial to prove their love and faithfulness to each other after a year and a day of their marriage. And if successful, they were given a flitch of bacon as an award. While this tradition is no longer actively practiced, it is still celebrated every 3 or 4 years at Dunmore-Flitch trials. Today is also commemorated as International Retainer Day, which falls on July 19th every year. This day challenges you to commit to your beautiful smile by keeping your retainer on after dental treatment. International Retainer Day recognizes the value of retainers, which help users to maintain a straight and beautiful smile years after undergoing orthodontic treatments. In the early 1900s, retainers were introduced to prevent teeth plumes slipping sideways. The smile remains straight as a result of this. If you don't use your retainer following orthodontic treatment, your teeth may shift or revert to their prior incorrect positions. So, if you have been slacking on your retainer, now it's time to get back on the track. Eons ago, the cause of dental problems weren't well understood. In 5000 BC, a Sumerian text described tooth worms as causing dental decay, and this idea wasn't proven false until the 1700s. Today is also commemorated as Liberation Day or FSLN Revolution Day in Nagar, Goa, also known as FSLN Revolution Day, is one of the most important days in Nicaragua. It signifies the birth of Nicaragua as an independent nation. The riot against the Somoza family's military, which ruled as a family dictatorship for over 3 decades, began in early 1960s. In 1961, opposition groups formed the Sandinista National Liberation Front, FSLN. They launched a campaign of armed resistance against the Somoza regime in 1970s. The struggle between the Sandinistas and Somoza lasted for 10 years. President Anastasio Somoza finally resigned in 1979. The Contra War ended in 1990. Today is also commemorated as Martyrs' Day in Myanmar. People in Myanmar celebrate Martyrs' Day on July 19th each year, one of the most important national holidays in the country. This celebration was initially created to commemorate the memory of renowned fallen figures within the Myanmar independence movement. This day has been celebrated in the country for several decades and remains one of the most important occasions. It also marks an important historical event in Myanmar, recognizing the country's independence. Today is also commemorated as National Daiquiri Day in US. When people fill their glasses with this cocktail, it was likely invented by Cuban miners. An engineer named Jennings Cox supervised a mine in a village named Daiquiri in 1898 during the Spanish-American War. After war, Cox and his colleagues would gather at the local bar, and one day Cox mixed Bacardi, sugar, and lime into a glass of ice named after Daiquiri mines. The drink became popular and staple in Havana. However, drinking is injurious to health. So be cautious. Don't get addicted to drinking. Today is also commemorated as National Football Day in US, which is celebrated every year on July 19th, honors the most popular sport, while also reminding us we are in the middle of the season and should check in our fantasy teams. So learn about more how enthusiastic Americans are about football by reading top football journalist tales. Football is an excellent way to stay in shape and improve your reflexes. Kick a ball around in your yard with your friends or start a game. Now it's the time to get a ball if you don't already have one. There is also commemorated as National Urban Beekeeping Day in US, which is celebrated annually on July 9th. The day is set aside to celebrate the practice of beekeeping colonies in urban areas. Other names for Urban Beekeeping Day are hobby beekeeping or backyard beekeeping. Apiculture refers to the practice of keeping and maintaining bees. At a time, it was prohibited to keep bees in urban areas, but recent discoveries show that bees kept in the city are healthier than those kept in country and has and that bees have economic and environmental growth. On December 23rd, Detroit Hives, a non-profit organization, declared July 19 of every year as National Urban Beekeeping Day. This day was created to raise awareness about supporting urban beekeepers, inform the public on the role of urban beekeeping, and also to discuss the importance of bees in our environment. On July 21st of same year, Joel Jones introduced the HR Bill 141, a bill to declare July 19th as National Urban Beekeeping Day in the state of Michigan. This bill was granted and supported by 10 state representatives. One of the challenges of urban beekeeping was swarming. While it is harmless, the sight of a swarming colony of bees in an urban area is enough to scare people away and disturb their day-to-day activities. People know that bee stings can be excruciating and are ever wary of getting stung by bees. So another challenge was that increasing popularity of urban beekeeping led to lower honey yields, as reported in some cities like New York. Then there was a challenge of easy transmission of some disease agents that affect honeybees in urban areas. These challenges led to numerous bee bans, especially in North American cities. But in recent times, these bans have been overturned. One of the major reasons for this was the health of the bees. Bees in urban colonies were found to be healthier and more productive than country bees. The inclusion of bees in the local food movement also helped in overturning bans. And from 1999 to 2012, there was an enormous increase in urban beekeepers. Although it is now mandatory to register beehives, large number of beekeepers do not inform their city management. Today is also commemorated as National Words with Friends Day on July 19th that commemorates the game Words with Friends. Players have to use their knowledge and creativity to form words to win points. Similar to classic board game Scrabble, the objective is to build words in a crossword puzzle form. The president of publishing at Zynga mentioned that Words with Friends is more just a game and surpasses our cultural language. Last year, he said about the game and a holiday it inspired. Over past 12 years, it's grown from a popular app to a global sensation. And we are excited to celebrate this first annual National Day and festival with our fans in the game we all love. Today is also commemorated as Sandinista Revolution on July 19th, the which has been already mentioned, the people of Nicaragua celebrate the memory of Nicaraguan Revolution. This celebration is currently one of the most important national days in the country and makes a significant period of Nicaraguan and Central American history. This period commemorated by this day is one of the most brutal in the country's history and lasted around 30 years. Yet today, this day commemorates the birth of modern day Nicaragua as an independent nation. So thank you everyone for joining us in this session. So let's observe few minutes of silence before we conclude the session. to observe and pray and meditate for the global peace and harmony. We'll observe, we'll pray, we'll meditate for a couple of minutes. Thank you for joining us. See you all tomorrow at the same time with the same joining link with different commemorations. Take care. Good night.